Hello there everybody and welcome back for another video on the Friends crafting corner. Still working on that, trying to get it to work. My friend suggested that I would make like this kind of army showcase reveal kind of video, and I figured, you know what, that's a good idea because I don't think I'm gonna be getting any more models for this year. So now that the Contemptor Dreadnought technically is ready, I just need to work with his weapons. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so I sort of did this kind of a armies on parade kind of thing with the miniatures that I had. So let's go through where should we start? I guess let's start with what's going on here. I decided to do a test paint with the Ultramarine and the Salamander. And so I have these two Mark III Marines that are totally different colors than my Iron Warriors. Then we got some Interstellar Marines, and well, I guess I should explain that I'm using these as cultists or Imperial Auxilia for the kill team, and these two without the base are still work in progress, but I decided to add them to kind of have this story going on here of the my grand battalion mustering and being inspected by the man himself, Perturabo, but we'll get to him in a minute. So yeah, I got a couple Industrial Marines around here. So we got 5 here, 2 of them are still work in progress. We got 3 more here, and 1 over here just standing, guys inside the Command Rhino. So I guess we could start over here. The latest edition that you may or may not have seen. Just your average Command Rhino. Nothing special going on there. I guess we can keep moving with the vehicles. We have the my first vehicle, which is the Sicaran main battle tank. And I think I'm planning to get more of these. I hate painting miniatures like this because they have large surface areas, and I just want to show how I drilled all the individual holes in those gas things. So it was a doozy. And just to show little features, these sponsons are magnetized, and I can also swap out these las cannons for the heavy bolters. So there's that. Next, I guess technically a Walker is a vehicle. The latest arrival in the army, the Contemptor Dreadnought, Iron Warriors model. And yeah, you may have already seen the couple of videos where I have him, both of his arms, both of his fists are magnetized. He doesn't have the inbuilt weapons at the moment because I haven't painted them. Same for the other weapon arms, they haven't been painted yet. And once again, just want to show off that I drilled every single one of these holes. So not just the weapon barrels, also these. And wanted to add a little mud effect because, well, right now the bases don't really fit in here because the field doesn't have any mud on it. But you know, trenches are dirty work. I guess we could take a look at these guys. So I have 2 of the Iron Circle automata that are blocking the path of the loyalists not to get through. Perturabo is accompanied by I forgot his name. I just had him, Narek Drager. And well, I guess we can finally show off Perturabo himself. Let's give him a little spin. His Forge Breaker is magnetized, and I have his fist lying around somewhere. And I know the scenic base doesn't really fit this thing, but hey, whatever. I also decided to add order a helmet for him from Bob Coaster Monkey because I don't like units without the helmets. The only ones that you will ever see in my army are the guys inside there. They don't have any helmets. Right, moving on. I guess we can show that we have another dude that is not an Iron Warrior. This one is supposed to be. Let me just grab the base proper. This one is supposed to be a Sons of Horus, inspired by some art from Tyrant Terminators, I believe, if I remember correctly. And this guy is fully magnetized, so both of his arms. I can change his pose. I have a lot of pictures of this guy on my Instagram and Facebook showing off the posability. So I can swap the arms and the weapons to whatever I wish. So yeah. So he's the equerry or the representative of Warmaster, and he's surrounded by the Tyrant Siege Terminators who are protecting him from this intrusion, honor guard, if you will. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have just a regular warsmith over here. My first one that I kind of used as a... So this is my first warsmith that I made. It's just a Mark III Tech Marine with the Iron Warrior's helmet and magnetized... what do you call it? This thing? Oh no, actually, the server arm is not magnetized, but this Volkite, it's not a Serpenta, it's just a Volkite Cavalrine, is magnetized on the shoulder, so I can remove it if I like. So this was kind of my first HQ option that I wanted to make fairly early on. We have a whole bunch of Marines, and actually we also have Apothecary here, with the distinct lack of chevrons except for the one knee pad there, but as you can see, heavily mudded and dirty from all the work. Very busy model actually. I think I may have gone too far with all the shiny bits, but there you have it. And here's the first sergeant that I ever made. Actually, this might be the first Iron Warrior that I also painted after my years-long hiatus joining the hobby. I could be wrong, I need to go through my history, but fairly certain this is the first one I painted. So from since I restarted the hobby. So nothing special. All the barrels from all the guns have been drilled. Let's see, let's get an angle from the other side to show off some of the Marines. We got some of those first batch Marines. We got, I call these ones the Honored. Oh, that's what I call them, because they kind of have the reverse color scheme. We have another one of them over there. Planning on future to magnetize these Vexilia, so they don't need to worry about them snapping. We got one with the Voxcaster over here, and over there you can see that the arm is not really one of the first box of Marines that I glued together. Didn't really work out. Turns out another one right next to him is like, oof. But hey, they got better from then on. Showing some of the other Marines, and I believe these two are the latest arrivals. So unlike most of these guys being the first batch, these are the latest box, and both of these weapons are actually magnetized, so I can swap them out and give them regular bolters if I like. I'm planning on using these for the kill team, because, you know, as it turns out, Horus Heresy troop squads don't have these things. That's only 40k, so yeah. So, yeah, that's a bummer, but there you have it. Moving on to the other side, for the remaining tactical squad, and just a regular looking sergeant. This one still wasn't magnetized because it was actually this guy. That was my third sergeant where I went full ham with the magnets to essentially get it. I'm planning to keep doing this in future so I can keep swapping the weapons to always have what you see, what you get kind of thing. So this one was a second sergeant, so I made him more regular looking. Another apothecary here. Let's have a closer look at him. So this one is a Mark III apothecary. Again, I think I may have gone a bit too shiny on some of the details, but he's looking fine and dandy. I tried also new effects, like making them look like there's liquid on the bottles, new colors, trying different things. Mostly the new colors are on the cable, so you can see they are all different colors, and even the blue vials, and testing something new with every model, generally speaking. Oh, already broke off that thing once, trying not to do it again. Let's see, what do we have here? Just a regular Marines from the looks of it. The original plasma gunner that I used for the kill team with a scorched shoulder, so you can tell that he's been rolling once a lot. And yeah, somewhere hidden here is another heavy bolter that has been glued to the body. I think this one here that I used for the kill team. And unfortunately these guys are stuck with it. I could rip off the weapons and magnetize them later down the line if I wish. Then we have over here a paint scheme test for my... Also I practiced putting down the, what do you call these things? The water transfers. As you can see, I did it after everything. So you can clearly see it's kind of a sticker there. Just added few all around him, just to test it out how it works. And also the metallic blue color. I did try on this guy. His legs might be heavily painted, which you probably can't see, but initially one of these had like black and blue chevrons, silver and blue chevrons, regular chevrons, some different kind of chevrons on each shoulder, because I was testing out how could I make this new paint scheme for my Kit-Bast Warsmith, which we shall get lastly soon. But yeah, this was my test paint miniature. And actually, if we go back, this guy was also supposed to be a test paint for... Initially, this guy was supposed to be subjects at the same test painting with metallic blue, but I ended up testing out my skills making ultramarine with what do you call it? All these symbols like the arrow and the Ultramarine's logo, and you can barely see the Legion number. I decided to freehand these, so yeah, that's something I like to try out with all my miniatures. Instead of using the transfers, I like to just try to freehand it. And I tried a lot of things with this guy, so all like the lighting effects coming from above. So if you're wondering like why are there those light blue streaks, that's what it's trying to be, like simulating light from above. And he looks fantastic from the distance. Not so much when you're having close up, but on the table, like when you're playing normally, he looks fantastic. And heavily inspired by, well, you might think of Thiel, but, well, partially inspired Thiel, but remember that there was a specific squad that made their way into Ultramar to meet up with the Gilliman, so Hydra Dominatus. And here's a little challenge paint that I tried a different Legion again. First, The Sons of Horus was the first one that I test painted by request of my friend. Like, I told him to pick me a Legion. And then, after that, Chris, he initially gave me options of Imperial Fist or Sons of Horus, so immediately I went for the Son of Horus. After that, I tried to go ham with the Salamanders, and I don't try to make them with bronze soldiers. They just ended up having that. Like, for instance, I looked up the trim color for this guy, and turns out Theal's Legion or Theal's Company does have the same bronze shoulders as my Iron Warriors. So all of these, and same goes for these Salamanders. The picture that I look up that I liked as a reference so happened to have bronze trim. So almost all these paint tests just ended up being color swapped Iron Warriors. So this one actually was a funny story because I started to be painting the base coat same as this, which is all this like you can't see really on him anymore because he's so dark. But this guy started exactly the same, except so with calabanite green, I believe, and Seborite green, and some what do you call it? A wash. No, the Lamian medium, and base coated with that, so he looked pretty teal, I suppose. I don't know what's the color. I'm bad at shades and colors and stuff like that, so yeah. But then I took that color and I washed this entire model with Casandora yellow, which is what I use for these chevrons for most of my models instead of using actual yellow, because that's how I initially got it from some guy on YouTube that I can't remember, but he's known. If you search for a painted Horus Heresy era miniatures, how to, that he's the guy who makes them. I want to say, I think Simon or Duncan was his name, I want to say. So yeah, that's why I had the Casandora yellow, and it ended up making this really good looking green. And then I destroyed it with Nile Oil after that, so he ended up being really dark. But overall, he looks really good. I also gave him a wash with thinned down Baldassar Gold to kind of have, let's see if we can get any good, but you can see like that bronze hue to make it look like the armor is burnished or something like that. That's from the thinned down and washed Baldassar Gold. Then I decided to have a shot at freehanding the Salamanders logo. Looks dreadful as hell, but hey, I'm fine with it. Same with the Legion numbers, and those actually added a lot to this model. So when he's on the table like this, he looks fantastic. Same with the Ultramarine. It added so much more character to these two, having those shoulder things, even though they look dreadful in my eyes. But I'm still happy that I made them because they look a hell of a lot better now. Okay, I think we have now covered more or less all the models here, with the exception of my first ever kit bash, a Warsmith over here. And, well, there's been plenty of videos recently that I made of this guy. So, sorry for the terrible rambling video on and on, but yeah, just want to give a minute to showcase the story behind all these miniatures. Speaking of stories, I like to do these kind of things where I have a lot of mud. You can see there's kind of these muddy footsteps, and they lead all the way in over here. The interior is actually painted, so let me just get rid of this. So now we can actually see the guys. They are barefaced, and I painted the entire interior, and now you can see that the footsteps are leading all the way in. I even added their helmets because, like I said, I hate models without helmets. So I drilled out, and so I hollowed out the helmets that are on the background. You can't even see the other one since, I mean, you can see it, but you can't see that this one over here also is hollowed out. I hope you guys can see it. There you go. And yeah, as it turns out, these helmets are really hard to drill hollow. They are really hard for some reason. I had a lot of problems trying to get it to work. But eventually I managed to do something. So there you go. At any time, these guys can just take the helmets and run off if they need to. So, you know, just adding this little storage with all the units, like all these spent ammo casings or whatever. Everyone sort of has, I try to make some kind of story going on with them most of the time, not really all the time. But back to this warsmith over here. What should I tell about him? Well, for starters, he is more or less fully magnetized, like the this guy over here. Except he's one step further. Even his head is removable. His backpack is removable. So if you've seen pictures of this guy, and you can notice he has a variety of poses, because I can, you know, move this stuff around. So, oh. There we go. Now he's got like a striking pose, and I can swap all his weapons if I need to. So that way he's always got, I can always use him for whatever I want. And that's why his backpack is also removable, because if I, well, let me just take it off. If I want to run him without the servo harness thing, I can just add a regular Mark III backpack on him. And yeah, same goes for the weapons. I had to clip this thing because I wanted to use his arm so he can manipulate the servo arms on this thing or whatever it's attached to it. So yeah. So yeah, he's fully magnetized, and he's got this alternative paint scheme that I really like. It's got Legion, Soldier, whatever, yeah. He's got a whole bunch of parts from various things. Actually, I should do like a math how much this unit technically cost me to make. And then there is his base, where I again tried some new things. I normally hate these kind of light effects going on here. I presume these cylinders are lights, so I kind of did this like a light effect. I figured for this base, it looks fitting, but normally I don't do that, especially with something like these tank lights. I see a lot of people do that, and I just don't, you know, I don't see it work. But for some reason on this one, I figured, you know what, just having this tiny light adds so much more detail to him. But yeah, let's put him back over there, along with his personal friend, messenger, bodyguard, or whatever. And there you have it. So that's the 2020 look at my current army. And I don't think it might be that for this year there won't be any new models to be added for this one. But I think the next things on the purchase might be a Fire Raptor or Storm Eagle to add some flyers, or both. And maybe Mark IV Squad to add some more bolters into the mix. And of course, I'll just need to finish these two. Finish all the weapons for this one. Then all the alternative weapons for these magnetized guys and their arms, I should paint those. But generally speaking, no more new units for this year. So there you have it, my, I want to say, annual look at the army and where is it at the moment. So this is what I got. Haven't played a single game with it. I have only played some kill teams with selected 7 units from here. So far they've all been Space Marines. I have run a few times using the cultists, but I didn't have these models, the Interstellar Marine models, yet at the time. So even they haven't seen a match yet. But yeah, might start running this guy for the kill teams too now that he is all done and ready and functional. Just need to finish the other weapons. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed my army and look forward for the next video, whatever that is. Probably something terrain related. Or who knows, maybe I will just go like, I need some more units. But yeah, there you have it. Bye! Didn't you say you were about to end this video? I'm sorry, father, but turns out I am a loyalist. No, but in all seriousness, just a little bonus fact. This paint scheme going on here, I want like about a year ago, I had been playing around with the idea of having loyalist Iron Warriors, maybe like for 40k or something like that, because I hate spikes and whatever. I wanted to like make blue chevrons happen, which as it turns out didn't happen. But the story behind this paint scheme more or less is that it would be a loyalist chapter called something like initially I played around with the blue color to kind of I believe the naming convention was something called like Dantiox TS, like that would be the chapter name or something like that. I don't know, name still pending, but this is that was the initial idea, and this is how it ended up being. So who knows, I might do a 40k. So there's a multi-purpose for this particular paint scheme. One, it looks more badass in my book, like for this special guy, but also it allows me to use him as a loyalist Iron Warrior for the Horus Heresy. And the reasoning behind it is because, like, you know, just imagine if you had the loyalist during the Horus Heresy, you know, if you see an Iron Warrior in full livery of Iron Warriors, then all the other loyalists, unless they have somehow set the targeting system and this particular signature is friendly, like, someone's gonna pop his head off, like, from his own team, essentially. Him being a loyalist, another loyalist is gonna kill him. So I figured that the Iron Warriors that followed Dantioch and after the events of Pharos, kind of, that's the some sort of backstory or reason that I'm going with, painted their armor blue to distinguish themselves from their traitorous kin. Oh, well, that's my headcanon for it, or something like that. It doesn't even have to do anything with Dantioch. That's just something that I'm going initial with, because it could be just a single garrison somewhere else, or, you know, because they were loyalists on all the forces, so that's kind of my backstory for it. And the same goes for the chapter. They are quote-unquote Ultramarines descendant, but in reality they come from the loyalist Iron Warriors that didn't betray the Emperor. So there you go. That's sort of a dual or triple purpose of this guy. I can run him as whatever I want. He can be just a regular Iron Warrior that just happens to have more personalized war gear. I can run this paint scheme as a loyalist Iron Warriors. That, you know, that's the way they distinguish themselves from the traitorous kin. And I can also run them as essentially just a Space Marine chapter if I don't want to add the spiky bits. Oh, I can just run them as heretics because Iron Warriors. Just Iron Warriors warband. So quadruple of kill. I don't know. Random bonus fact. End. Bye. Okay, I said I was gonna end it, but now that you have taken a good look at all these units, I have something to confess. Not all of these models are legit. Most of them are, In fact, I'd say 80% or higher, I would say. Yeah, there are few recasts among these, so I might make a video where I show them, but for now, take a guess which one of these are my sins over here. Which one of these do you think are the recasts?